That's cool.
Okay, Kimberly, I think yeah, we can start. Have you had a chance to get the file?
That
The
I'm
template?
opening that right now.
Okay.
The link that you sent me, it says there's an error.
Uh-oh. Actually, it's in Asana.
Okay. Do you know where specifically?
It's under Hire Writer. You'll probably see it in your inbox.
Okay. Is this the research? What was
Yep.
it called? Research. Okay. Okay. There we go.
Okay. All right, then I think we can start recording.
Yes.
Okay. So, Leslie is
Mhm.
our new writer. Actually, we have hired her before, but due to some unfortunate incident, we were not able to push through with publishing a book for her. So, yeah. And Leslie, I know we have talked before, right? We started
Mm,
with actually, right?
yeah.
So it's the same. We have published several books, and actually,
Yeah.
Kimberly is one of our writers, and also
Mm,
our SME, our Paleo SME. So we have different projects going on right now, but
okay.
Kimberly is our go-to person
Uh, okay.
for for some of publishing some projects related to publishing. So,
Mm,
um, anyways, Kimberly,
Yes.
Leslie will write about mindfulness
yeah.
to combat anxiety and stress. He has personal experience using mindfulness,
Mm,
and that is why she will be writing about this topic. So, Leslie, can we have you walk us through the template that you created?
yes. Okay. So, the topic is mindfulness. So starting with the empathy map, um, the first avatar that I've created is called Adam. Now, Adam is based on me personally. It's basically me giving advice to my younger self.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, Adam is in his early 20s. His first job, he's working in advertising as an executive. Um, I'll just sorry. Okay, yeah. So he's working in his first job. Started out as an intern and then landed his first full-time job in his dream role. He's eager to prove himself, not only to his bosses but also to his parents, whose opinions he values greatly. He's eager to earn a steady income as opposed to his friends who are just starting out, and he's keen to kind of be the standout one. They're all proud of him, and he wants to show them that he's got what it takes.
Mm-hmm.
He thrives in his job. He's driven by his desire to succeed. He's also very influenced by the company culture. It's a fast-paced environment. He's eager to fit in and show them that he's got what it takes. And although it's long hours, he doesn't complain because he knows that he's working towards achieving a goal. It's his dream job, and he'll do anything to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
At the back of his mind, though, he's always had this fear that he wasn't worthy of the job, because it came so easily to him. He didn't have to struggle to really get the job. It was his first job out of college, and so he kind of feels as if he's a bit of a fraud at the back of his mind. So that fear is always with him all the time. His bosses continuously encourage him and tell him that if he's got any problems, he needs to speak to them. But he fears speaking up because he doesn't want them to know that he is struggling in any way. He wants to kind of give off this perfect idea. So although he feels stressed and overwhelmed with the workload, he wants to be in control at all times. He refuses to fail at any cost. And so he burns the candles at both ends. His health starts to suffer, but he figures he's young. He has to make a go of it at all costs. And then eventually, the working hard and the partying hard, it starts to catch up to him, and then he burns out, basically.
Okay.
Okay, so that is the first avatar that I've created. Then we've got the next one is Molly. She is in her early 30s, and she's a first-time mother. She is trained as a school teacher, but she's been on maternity leave for the past few months. Now, she's always dreamed of being a mother. That's also why she chose to become a teacher, because she's got that maternal instinct within her. But now that she's a mother herself, she can't help but feel that it's not everything that she thought it was going to be. She's bored and she's disillusioned with everything that life is showing her. She spends her days alone at home with a baby, while her husband gets to leave the home and live his normal life. The only adult company that she has is her husband when he gets home from work. She feels isolated and cut off from the rest of the world, and this puts a strain on their marriage because she starts to resent her husband, and he can't identify with what she's struggling with. She feels unattractive with the way that she looks. She feels that she's not seen as a person anymore. She's merely, a mother to this baby now. So her identity is suffering a little bit. But at the same time, she feels guilty for having these feelings because, that's not what mothers are supposed to say. And she feels selfish for caring so much about her own needs while, she's got this baby that she has to take care of. She fears that others would consider her to be a bad mother if she said anything bad about motherhood. She compares herself to other mothers who seem to, handle parenthood so easily and effortlessly. She's jealous of other mothers who seem to have it all. They work during the day and then the mothers at night, and she just can't seem to find that balance for herself. Inside, she feels that she's failing as a mother. She had these big illusions about what a life would be once the baby got there, but none of them have come to fruition. So she's sad, she's lonely, and she blames herself for not being able to find the joy in motherhood. And so she's scared to share these feelings with anybody else, and that only makes the problems worse. She looks up to her mother as an example of what a successful life is, and so she feels like a failure in comparison to her mother. Okay, and then my third avatar that I've created is Kevin. Now, Kevin is older, he's in his 50s. He's been married for 25 years. with two children, both of whom have left home and moved out of the family home. He is kind of in a stagnant state of his life. He's not happy, he's not unhappy, he's just kind of going through the motions.
Mm-hmm.
His life has been the same for the past how many years? The same job, same house, same environments and everything. And he's just bored of everything being the same. He works at an IT company, and his colleagues are all younger than him. They just starting out in their 30s, and he's feeling a bit jealous of them. He sees himself in them, and he also thinks that he sees himself as younger than what he actually is. Um, so he feels like he's got more in common with them than with people of his own age. The only difference is that he doesn't have that same energy that he once used to have, and he misses that part of himself. Um, he's offended when he's called a senior. He wants to keep up with the younger crowd, and so he begins to dress like them, gets a haircut like them, and starts to talk like them. And then once he's accepted into their kind of friendship circle, it gives his ego a massive boost. Um, so at this stage of Kevin's life, image is important to him because he cares that his hair is starting to go grey now, and he can't walk and run as fast. He might be getting wrinkles, and that's the last thing that he wants. It bothers him that he's getting older and he's running out of time. He doesn't have as many options and opportunities which lay before him like when he was younger. Um, when he was first starting out at his job, he felt like the world was his oyster and anything could be achieved if he just put his mind to it. But now he feels like time is chasing after him, and so he's driven by a sense of urgency, and it's now or never if he wants to fulfill those dreams that he's always had. Um, Kevin has an enthusiasm for life, but um, he also realizes what he must look like to the outside world. He's very self-aware, and he doesn't want to fit the cliche of having a midlife crisis. He's very affected by what others think of him. He values the opinion of everyone around him, and he measures his own success by the opinion of others, in spite of himself. And so his self-esteem is based on validation and praise from everybody around him, especially the younger colleagues that he hangs out with. He's constantly looking for confirmation from those around him, and it's bringing him down basically. Okay, so those are the avatars that I've created, and I think these I've tried to find a person from each stage in their life who would need to kind of center themselves and then find peace and balance within their lives.
Those are great. Yeah, I definitely
Yeah.
can see how each person was from a different aspect of their life.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that was really good.
Thank you. I went into a lot of thought and kind of like I overthought it a bit, but I tried to keep it as short and succinct as possible.
Yeah. Yep. I know when we created them, you get on a different kind of personal level with each of them, so I can definitely tell you have some personal experience with them.
Yes, I do. Okay, and then from audience insights into the people on Facebook who like this topic, 89% were women, which I found really interesting, and 11% were men. The women were mainly in the age group of about 35 to 44 years old, and then that was followed by women aged 45 to 54. Over half of them were married, 29% were single. Majority of them have finished college and have college degrees. Majority of them work in managerial roles, which I also found interesting. So it's women with a lot of responsibilities in their lives. Okay. And then top page likes that they subscribe to daily meditations and the Dalai Lama. Okay, and then moving on to bestsellers in this category. Now, one book that I found that I actually want to purchase myself is called Why Goldfish Never Die by Brian McCulley. Now, this book, it was written from the author's own personal experience. But I think it was more the manner in which he conveyed the information to the reader. The comments that I read on this book, I found the comments so inspiring. You know, people were really enthusiastic, and you know, they were eager to share with their friends, and they were really pumped about this book.
Yeah.
And I think that's the tone that I would like to convey in my own book as well. Yeah, there wasn't a single bad comment about this book. So yeah, really.
Sorry. Hi. I think are you there?
Hi guys.
Oh,
Hello.
Hi, Amar.
Right, did I miss a lot? And by the way, I can only be here for 5 minutes. But I don't know where you guys are in the presentation.
right now we're discussing the reviews from best-selling books.
Okay, so you're
We're
towards
about
the end.
the book, the one by
Okay.
Brian Kelly.
Okay. So
Okay.
that's towards the end of the PCM template, the PCM template that Leslie sent us through.
Yep. We have
Okay.
finished discussing the customer avatars and the Facebook audience insights.
Okay, great. So I'll just go on my on mute, and then I'll let you guys continue. I'll jump in if I have any questions.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, okay, so that was the first book, and it was the best book I found in this part. And then the next book was also from a woman's own experience, but you know, there were more negative comments about this book. The woman was writing from her experience with suicide and addiction. The positive about this book is that she offered, you know, real advice about how to meditate in kind of short chunks instead of, you know, a long session. But then what commenters were critiquing her about was that she kind of made these huge statements about how by meditating she, you know, cured herself of her addictions and stuff, and they just found it a bit too far-fetched. So I think that's important to bear in mind, is that being mindful it isn't a cure-all to anything. It's just a way of living and kind of training your brain into seeing situations in a different manner.
So do you feel like it was negative for that one because it was a more controversial topic?
I think so, and I also think she couldn't back up her claim. You know, she suffered with addiction, and then she said that as soon as she started to meditate, her life completely changed, and the comments are that it takes more than meditating to change your life.
Right.
You know, so I think it's just being kind of being real about what meditating is and what it isn't.
Yeah.
Okay, then the next book I came across had 100% rating, so there wasn't a single bad thing about this. Only thing though is that it was written by a Buddhist monk, you know, so she had kind of studied the theories, and one of the things I'm kind of scared of doing is coming across as an expert, you know, because I'm basically speaking from my own experience.
Right.
So I kind of want to stay away from like big terms and concepts that I don't fully understand. I mean, because I think that the minute you aren't true, it's going to come across.
Exactly. Yep. That's exactly how we've been feeling, especially with the paleo market. I live it every day. So what Amar and I have really tried to focus on is being sincere and honest and just, real life.
Yeah. What I found with many of the books too is that it's these experts who are giving advice, but they kind of preaching to the converted. And I think the market we want to focus on is those who they haven't got the first clue about what meditating is and being mindful, as in being a starting block to meditating. Okay, and then the next book that
Leslie, just a question on that. So you said that our target audience is a group of people that are who don't know about meditation, so they're not the converted ones. Can I ask how did we arrive at that customer avatar?
Well, I'm kind of speaking from what I kind of know in my own life, and also the audiences that I saw online were kind of keen to enter the market of meditation. They didn't know too much about it, and I think I don't know, the book I think I would write better is from a beginner standpoint. Does that make sense?
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay.
With that, Amar, some of the avatars that she had written were about people who needed something different in their life, things that weren't working for them in their current situation. So I think it falls along with the avatars that you created, that you shared with us at the beginning of this call.
Okay, that sounds good. And one of the main questions that I had before this call for Alalie was, and again, I have to leave in about 2 minutes, so I might as well say it now. It's what is the big idea? What is the hook? What is the thing which the central theme of the whole book? And so it's good that we have an idea of who the customer avatar is, and these are beginner folks who want to get into meditation. But my question is, what is the big idea? What is the thing that differentiates us from the thousands of competitors and the thousands of books out there that are about mindfulness? And I'm not expecting an answer for that right now. To get an answer to this requires a lot of research, a lot of thinking. And so that's one thing that I really want us to think about is what is the big idea? What is the angle, the hook, the central theme of the whole book? And I love the idea that we're writing it from your own experience and your journey. I think that's a great hook. That's always a great hook, when you talk about your own personal experiences and because everyone sees life differently. And so that's a great hook, but we need to translate that and articulate that really well into a simple headline. So just have a think about that. And then, I'll touch base and ask clarifying questions. But I have to go now. So sorry to just jump in and jump out like this. But I'll send up any follow-up questions I have.
Okay, great. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Take care, Amar.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Great. Okay, so back to the reviews of books that I found. An interesting one I found was called 5 Gears, How to Be Present and Productive When There's Never Enough Time. Now this book is kind of written from the analogy of a car in stick shift. So starting with the first gear to the second gear, all the way up to the fifth gear. And he doesn't use the word mindful, but he uses being present and from rest all the way to your highest level of being present, basically. And I found that men were the ones who related to this analogy the best. Whereas the other books were the commentary were mainly from women. Okay, and then books that received the worst rating. The first one with the most negative feedback said that it was too short and basic. It didn't explain much that could be put into action. There was no new information, very basic, and it was information that anybody could have found on the internet. So I think that's where the personal experience comes in, because you're not just speaking as if you write an article. Right. You are writing from a first person place. Okay, and then on to what will the tone or approach of the writing be? I think the tone of the book should be as if a friend is giving advice to, a friend of theirs. So coming from a kind and a caring place. At the same time, though, it's giving real advice that can be used in everyday life. It should be easy to read, no big words that will scare the reader. And reading the book should be a calming experience which inspires instead of, it's things you must do and it's urgent. And I think it's easier for the reader to identify with it. So yeah, the language used, I don't think it should use, big terms like types of breathing, which is used in Buddhism, because I think that can intimidate a lot of people who are new to the topic. Or if they don't find it too technical, they can think, it's too airy-fairy, it's new age, and they kind of want something to incorporate in their day-to-day living. At the same time, the advice can't be too straightforward also, or commonsensical, as I said. And many of the lower-rated books were critiqued for being too basic and not having enough in-depth knowledge. I think the key is to give them real advice, like activities to follow, or kind of meditations to repeat in their heads as they continue on their day.
Yeah.
Okay, and then going on to the table of contents. Now I based this on questions that I found online, in forums and on Quora, for example. The first one was, how can mindfulness affect the quality of living a purposeful life? This one got a lot of feedback. People were very keen to know why mindfulness. I think if you hear the word mindful, you don't see it as a simple concept when all it is just being present in the moment and living in the now instead of looking at the past mistakes you've made or where you want to be in the future. It's basically just being in the here, in the now, and paying attention to what's going on immediately around you. Other questions: why is it so hard to meditate? It's coming from those who have tried and they perhaps they didn't have any guidance, and then they didn't see any use to it, and so they immediately gave up. So I think here we give advice as to how to overcome those setbacks, and if you aren't seeing any results, why is that, and what can you do to change it? And Um, right. And then how can somebody handle negative criticism and negative thoughts? I think it's something we all deal with, is negative thoughts from ourselves and from our environment, because we are surrounded by negativity every day. So I think it's tips to find the positive in your surroundings. And then, okay, so the table of contents I've come up with would start with what is mindfulness, and under that we'd have an introduction to what mindfulness is. What is it, and also what it is not. Because I think that if you hear the word, it sounds like a huge idea, and it's actually very, very simple. So we break down what exactly it is and what it absolutely is not. And then next, how can mindfulness be a benefit in my own life? So as a beginner who's never meditated in their lives, is it right for me? For my what particular situation? How to bring mindfulness into every aspect of your life. From your work to your home life, your relationship with your partner and your friends, to your finances could be included. So your holistic life and bringing mindfulness into that. Next up would be, why is it so hard to meditate? And here's are the problems that we find or create in our own minds. So how our thoughts affect our actions, and by changing your thoughts from negative to positive in small ways, you begin to see the positive around you. Recognizing obstacles that stop you from being mindful. So many times we kind of choose to see the bad in a given situation, and once you can tell yourself, okay, I'm doing it now, you stop it and you can change it into a positive experience. Next up is how to meditate. So step by step, start like this and then slowly build your way up to that and that. And I've provided a link where it's kind of tricks and tips to, small ways to become more mindful and more present in your daily life. Next step is how to be more mindful every day. So choosing to live a life with meaning, and kind of each part of your life has a meaning and a direction as to where you want to go in the future. And then how to choose the present. So you leave your past in the past and believe that the future is going to take care of itself. Next is dealing with negative thoughts. How to find the positive when everything around you seems negative. And then I kind of included be the change you wish to see. Yes, really, because I think it's become a bit of a saying already that you can be the change, but we kind of give advice to finding the positive and then being that change for others and inspiring them to become more positive and present.
Yeah.
Okay, and then a section on mindful mantras to live by. I think that these, it can be a bit lighter in this part. And then ending off with any questions that they have. Right? Okay, and then why will they buy our book? I think if they are coming to a book like this, they are feeling as if their life isn't in balance. So they are looking for an answer. They're feeling stressed, they're feeling overwhelmed. And then the the book will tell them, you aren't alone. It's normal to feel stressed, and we all feel as if we've lost control sometimes. And the answer to taking away some of the stress is through mindful meditating. And that whatever they are feeling can be fixed. They've already got the answers within themselves. They needn't spend a lot of money, on therapists or anything like that. It's just you know by being calm and coming back to the present. And the benefits of reading the book would be that it's easy to read. It's not wordy or too technical. It's a beginner's guide that anybody can easily understand. Um, yeah, and then as I said, I'll use my own experience as a guide that it does actually work. By staying present and being in the moment, you remove a lot of stress from your life that needn't be there in the first place. And then at the end of each section, I thought we could add, a section for them to add in their own notes and activities and mantras for them to repeat as they go throughout the day, just to remind themselves to always be mindful.
I love that. Kind of like a journal.
Yeah. So they carry it around on their Kindle or on their phone, and they always have it, and they jot down as they go throughout the day.
Yeah.
Oh. And then sketches. I've kind of sketched loose hand what I thought, but gosh, it's not anything that I can show you yet.
Okay.
Okay. No problem. Okay. So, Leslie, I think you really did a good job, especially with your market research.
Yeah.
And I like what you did with Facebook audience insights. I think that
Mm-hmm.
could be key. I think that could be key for us to find that hope that Amar was telling us about, the big idea.
Yes.
Yeah. Because actually with your three customer avatars, what really resonated with me was Molly's avatar. Because I
Mm-hmm.
personally know friends who are going through that.
Yeah.
They are in that phase of their lives. So I think we have a pretty good market with that. But yeah, we should um, spend a bit more time looking into what would be a good hook.
Yes.
Perhaps spend a day to think about it. What I have good news for you though. We are hiring a managing editor to help our writers come up with um things like this.
Mm.
Um, so I think we would have two ready in a day, but I'll have to talk to them first, and let's see if they can. I'll ask for their advice on what they think of this, but do take some time to think about
Okay.
what a good hook would be. I mean, what would we offer? What will make us stand out from the market? I
Mm.
was also thinking about maybe we can have a look at what the market is buying. What are they buying aside from ebooks?
Mm.
If there are products out there that apps perhaps, we could
Mm.
have a look at reviews for those products, and maybe we can find something that will click.
Mm.
So I think that's it. But we're pretty much. I like the POC. Actually I'm really excited to see what you will come up with, and I am intrigued on how you will um, present your own personal experience in the book. But yeah, I think we have a couple of other details to think about. So let's get together again. Perhaps I don't think we need to do a call, but let me see. Let me just have a word with our managing editor. So I'll let you know. But for
Okay.
now, thank you for this. I really like it. I appreciate it. I think we're onto something good here. We just really have to find that hook that
The
really
hook, yeah. I think it's the main thing is finding the hook, yeah, because it's quite broad at the moment. I think so. Kind of.
yeah, we need to find something that the market will really um would be really interested in seeing. So
Yeah.
um let's have a day or two to think about this and find some other thing, could potentially help us find that hook.
Yes. Okay. I'll have a think and I'll kind of jot down some ideas
Mhm.
as to narrow down the topic.
Yeah. All right.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right.
Thank
Okay.
you for your time.
Yeah. Thank
Thank
you.
you too.
Take care.
Talk soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.